So I want to sit here and talk to you. Another question is getting, you know, you ragged on me. I don't want to say rag because I love you.
Yeah, you don't want to say that.
I don't want to say that.
Click.
Yeah, you know, what I want to get into now is the Flair bartenders think differently of some of these mixologists. Some of these mixologists think different of these bar chefs, and I know everybody's got names for all different things. Okay, so if you're talking to a Flair bartender says, "What the hell's the mixologist doing?" The mixologist is saying, "Well, what are these guys doing?" And we talked about it a little while ago, just flipping bottles. And then it's like, well, what the hell is Toby doing?
That's right.
Is where it's at. And like you said, people sit back from behind the bar and they
Sure.
talk about what's going on.
Sure.
And I'm going to come right out. You know, I've heard people say, well, Toby sold out on Flair.
Sure.
How do you handle that?
I break out that poster called Footsteps. You know that one?
I got that one. It's
You know,
on my wall, yeah.
Yeah, you know the one where, you know, hey, God, where were you? And, you know, there's only one set of tracks. You always said you'd be there. I was carrying you.
Yeah.
I guess that's about as close as I can say. I've never left Flair. I've never changed the way I've bartended.
Okay.
I have spent a lot of time lately on the cocktail side for 2 reasons. And anyone that's ever read my column Cut Off knows I pretty much tell it like it is. Number one, because I'm trying to support a business, and there's no money in Flair right now. And the money is all in over on the mixology side, and I've always done both. So that's where I am, and that's the truth. But I'm also there because I think that there is an opportunity to help bring the two worlds together. You know, one of the funniest things have all been, and I heard this a lot for a couple of years, it was so strange. I'd be around some younger Flair bartenders, and when they were introducing me to their friends, besides saying like, you know, oh, you know, Flair FBA and stuff, they'd say, well, they're trying to describe me, you know, and they're saying, well, he's a Flair guy that's really into the whole, or he's a mixologist, or he's into the making drinks, but he does a little Flair. And then I'd be over hanging out with some, you know, mixologists, and they'd be like, well, this is Toby, and he's a Flair bartender, and he plays around with mixology.
So you're playing on both sides of the fence.
Hey, well, I knew you.
How you doing?
I'd always sit there and kind of think that's kind of funny how they both see it so differently, because it's always been both to me. If anyone remembers, the motto of the FBA for a long time was, "It's all about the drink." I made that up because it is. It is about the drink. We're not flight attendants. We're not rocket scientists. We're bartenders. This is what we sell. So I don't give a shit about anything else. If this isn't any good, you're doing something wrong, period. And that means if you're taking 13 minutes to make this and you're boring the hell out of someone telling you about the distillation process of a coffer still versus a column distillation or alembic still, you're doing the same thing. So I'm not pointing at any one group. I'm saying to everyone, it's balance. What makes a great cocktail is the same thing that makes a great bartender. So I think what you have when it comes back to your question, the Flair bartenders and the mixologists, if you ask a bartender what their greatest strength is, they'll usually tell you pretty easily. But if you say to them, well, what part of bartending don't you like? They'll usually name the thing they're worst at. So if someone isn't any good at making cocktails, well, they're going to rag on mixology. If someone can't flip a bottle, then they're going to make fun of it. Bartenders hate looking stupid behind the bar. So if there's something they can't do, rather than trying to learn it, it's just easier to brush it off. So there's a lot of that. There's a lot of ego. But a part of it, too, is it's a fair criticism. It is a fair criticism to say that more Flair bartenders right now in the world are making Flair bartending look bad than are looking good behind the bar. That is very fair. And if that shocks you or upsets you or you don't agree with it, you need to take your head, dump it in some ice water, and get a fucking reality check and go out there and really pay attention. Because I'm telling you like it is. You need to see a tape of Ken Hall, Alan Mays, Eric Holbert, Glenn Cohen, Steve Busher, and Todd Connell behind the Voodoo Lounge in Vegas when it was the hottest A-list celebrity place to go. It was buried deep all night, and they were ringing 10, 15, 20 grand, and they were flipping shit the whole time and talking to people and remember their names and making good drinks. It is possible, and it was done. It's kind of lost a lot of that now. So that's part of it. And Flair bartenders do the same thing. They make fun of mixologists. Oh, they're stuffy jackets, and they take 20 minutes to make a drink. I know some guys that are badass mixologists that are badass bartenders. And I'll tell you what, there's some guys way at the very top of the food chain in the mixology world that love Flair. They love it. There's a guy who's a good friend of mine who's a brand ambassador for a very large company, and like every time we go on trips or do work, he's sitting there with like a water bottle. He's like stalling it and flipping it and looking over at me. I'm like, dude, you're such a closet Flair bartender. He's like, I love it, I love it. So there is interest and intrigue. It's just, it's the way people are approaching each other. Instead of focusing on your differences, focus on your similarities. We're all bartenders. We're all there to make money and make great drinks and do that whole thing, you know?
You know what I love about it, and you kind of explaining it more, but I see it also. It's like when you become a ball player or a basketball player, you want to be a good jump shot shooter. You want to be a good free throw shooter. You want to learn it all, and that's what you got to do. If you want to be a bartender, learn the drinks, learn the hospitality, and learn the flipping thing, and it all comes together as one.
You're right, and you know, that's a great analogy. But look at what kids do. When kids want to be basketball players, what do they all want to do?
Dunk the ball.
That's all they want to do.
Because it's the show
They
part.
want to be MJ.
Yeah.
Well, let's get MJ in the room. No, really, can we do that?
We get him on the screen.
Michael, I gotta go. Michael, what's up, man? Pound, daps, what's up, baby? Yeah, all right. I like the earring. So you get a little chubby. So I should talk. So you know, really, they want to dunk, and that's great. But ask MJ. He wants to win the game.
At the end of the day.
How many days is he the first in the gym and the last out working on dribbling and free throws? And there's a time and a place for a dunk, and a dunk has a purpose. A dunk can totally raise the level of the whole crowd, get the crowd behind you, and just get that whole energy going and take the game to a new level. It can totally demoralize the other team if you make it, and if you play the rest of the game. But if you miss that dunk, you're a jackass. And a lot of Flair bartenders, I don't think they think about that. You got to make that dunk, and you got to make it at the right time. I can't tell you how many times I would be behind the bar and someone would come up and be sitting at my bar for how long, and they'd be like, I heard you're like this big Flair guy, what's up? You're not flipping anything. And I'm like, oh, you know, da, da, da. I always looked at it like, if you sit at my bar, and the first thing I do is start going, it's like, hey, I think I'm cool. I've never been that way. I Flair more in the service well, back of house service wells, and in the well than I ever did on the front bar. I do it for me, because I love it. It makes bartending fun for me, and I'll always Flair. I was doing it tonight.
I did see that.
But really, it's like, it's about you when you come to the bar. I want to meet you. I want to find out a little bit about you, what kind of experience you're looking to have. Do you want me to be your buddy? Do you want me to shut up and be your servant? What kind of drinks do you want? Once you're happy and relaxed and we have some rapport, now I'm going to start entertaining you a little bit if I have time. But, you know, I'm going to put the horse before the cart. So the basketball thing's a great analogy, but like I got into watching basketball.
Think I could coin it and I could get a whole website on it? I'm just...
I got into basketball. You could. I got into basketball watching Jason Williams, okay, when he played for the Kings. And Jason Williams was doing all this Pete Maravich stuff, behind the back fakes and double dribble here and that, and all this stuff from the N1 and the street ball.
That was when he was good before he came to my Miami Heat. But another story.
Another story, and the haircuts and everything. Yeah. But you know what? When he did one of those plays or passes and missed it, he got so much shit for it. When he made it, everyone loved it. Well, that's the life of a Flair bartender. You know, if you hit that perfect trick at the right time, people go crazy. If you miss it, there's always someone going, you shouldn't have done that. Oh, geez, what a show off. But that's really what it's about. If you're out there and you're spilling and dropping and breaking, those are all my moves, by the way. Are you doing a service for yourself and Flair, or are you doing a disservice? Keep it simple. Do the light stuff.
Well, there you have it. A little behind the head, what goes on in Tobin Sing. We'll have more right after this. I saw him blinking.
Commercials.